Hey, welcome. It's from Fan Formula time again. Bahrain Grand Prix, and what a fantastic race it was. Once again, fantastic racing all throughout the field. There's a big gap between obviously the front two and the rest of the race drivers, but everywhere throughout the field there was a great race going on, and there was entertainment all the way through the whole of the race. Controversy, whining team principles once again, and a whole lot of fun. So let's crack on with some questions. And question number one: whose performance impressed you at the Bahrain Grand Prix? There's a few good contenders for once. I mean, there's some really good performances out there. I mean, Hamilton, of course, led the race, but he had to really fight off Rosberg, and it's great to see teammates having to properly race each other. You know, I mean, none of this multi-21 malarkey. You want this early in the season. You want to see cars let race, and they definitely did that. And some fantastic driving, especially from Hamilton towards the end, when he had the slower tyres on. He had to hold off Rob. I don't know what I'm saying. Rosberg, and he was I was very impressed with the drive from him. And of course, both Force Indians did really well as well. And Perez getting a podium, which is fantastic for him. And obviously, was McLaren a blip for him? Was it a wrong move for him? It didn't work out there. So the Force Indians looking very good this year, as are the Williams as well. They're definitely challenging for podiums. I think they're probably the other two teams most likely, especially on this circuit, which is more of a power circuit. They've got the best engine and they've got the least downforce. So on the power circuits, they'll definitely have a big advantage over definitely the other engines. So there you go. And also, talking about the other engines, Ricciardo did a fantastic job. Really, so far this season, he outshone Vettel quite a bit actually. I mean, he did so in Australia, not so much last week, but this week he's definitely, well, Vettel being told to move out of his way. I mean, that's a big shock to the system for Vettel, I suppose, and he won't like that at all. But he's definitely shone in this car so far, doing well, better than we'd expect him to, considering how poor they were pre-season. And you got to look for some other drivers as well. I mean, even back down the grid, some of the other like Max Chilwell actually doing pretty decent. I mean, he keeps finishing. So when so many cars, I think 6 cars pretty much every race are going to drop out, he's going to move up a lot of places, which is be good if you have him in your dream team because he gets loads of bonus points. Of course, I don't need to worry about that. So shall we show on to number question 2? Out of each engine supplier, which team's performance is impressing you over the races 1 to 3 this season? Well, obviously, Mercedes being the supplying their own engine, they had a big advantage over the other Mercedes cars, and that's shown, and that's shown, and they've definitely got an advantage there. But it's not just that; it's the fact that the other cars with that engine are doing so well as well. I mean, no one would have expected Williams and Force India to be challenging for podium places and literally flying past Ferraris like they were nothing. I mean, how many times did we see a Williams or a Force India just fly past Raikkonen or Rosberg without even having to really battle around the corner? It was quite easy for them. So, and of course with the no upgrades for the engines like this year, you can see that going throughout the whole season. But yeah, Mercedes definitely, they've got the upper hand. They've been developing that engine for a couple of years, and it's definitely shone. It's similar to the way the Brawn team just come in at early season and shone for like the first 7 or 8 races is a big advantage for the other teams to catch up to get some big points on the board, and that'll probably win in the championships. So out of the Renault teams, obviously no one expected Red Bull to do that well as they're doing. I know the other teams are struggling quite a bit, but Red Bull have actually done a lot better than what we thought they'd do. I mean, the fact they're actually up there challenging, considering how they were at the beginning of the season, shows that they've actually got their act together with that. The other teams definitely are struggling, even though Toro Rosso are doing probably a better job than what I thought they would have done. And as for Ferrari, they've definitely got a very, I don't know, they just don't seem to have the power at all, and they've had a few problems with it as well. It's definitely going to be a Mercedes engine that going to have this series, and most of the Grand Prix, apart from probably the heavy downforce Grand Prix, they're going to win. If not Mercedes, one of the other Mercedes engine teams, and maybe some of the high downforce circuits you could probably see a Red Bull nicking the race perhaps. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much domination. So let's go on to question 3 and kind of try and get through them quick as I can, because I know some of these videos are really creeping up to 20 minutes again, guys. I mean, you got a lot to talk about, and let's be honest, the BBC One after show coverage doesn't even last that long these days. So we've seen 10 years of F1 in Bahrain. Which race has been your favourite and why? Well, a lot of the races have been really lacklustre. There's been a few exciting races, but I'll be honest, I probably won't even remember this race in about 3 weeks anyway. So you're asking me to remember races from 10 years ago, you got no chance. And even as some of the other circuits, I think it's been quite an exciting race. And I know we've had some drove races in the past, but we've also had some good ones. And the circuit kind of, with all these new upgrades and that, it kind of lends itself to overtaking and drama. So it's been a good race, really. And I'll probably say it was the favourite, even if I could remember any of the other ones. I'm trying to blab my way through this if I can. And the bonus question, favourite race battle today and why? Well, obviously the battle at the front, which maybe we wouldn't have expected, really. That was quite intriguing, especially after the safety car. It's nice seeing cars go wheel to wheel, and of course the Force Indies had a great battle throughout the whole race as well. It was fantastic, and it's good to see that drivers, and most of it fair as well. You didn't see any cars, well, obviously from a couple of instances, but you didn't see cars knocking each other off. There's really good racing, wheel to wheel, forcing each other off the track, but fairly. And you know what? That's what you want to see from Formula 1. That's the reason we brought the changes in, and it's definitely working because I think it's been fantastic and a long way to go. I mean, we'll go to China next, which will maybe not be as exciting, but of course you got a couple of long straights and big braking zones there, so it will definitely have someone to take overtaking. Would it be as good as this weekend? We can only hope, really. And I've gone through the questions in under 7 minutes. It can be done. While I'm here, I might as well talk about a certain Mr. Crashy Man, who seems to do quite a lot. As for the punishment old Maldonado received, do I think it's fair? Probably yes, but is it fair in comparison to some of the other punishments being handed out? I mean, if you compare that he only got a 5-place grid penalty for next week, or in 2 weeks' time, compared to Ricciardo getting a 10-place penalty, do you think that's fair, really? I mean, probably not. I would have thought, I mean, he definitely could have not crashed into him, basically. It's something that he's done in the past, and it's been I know you shouldn't really carry on history over seasons, but he's already started this season off with 3 penalty points, and could he be the first one to get a race ban? Probably. I mean, especially with the car being so poor as it is, but the fact of the matter is, if you look back at some other incidents that have been reprimanded in the past, is it similar to Grosjean's incident at Spa when he got a race ban? Yes, it actually pretty much is. The only difference was he wasn't taking out some championship leaders, so that's probably the only difference in the manoeuvre, really. I know it probably looks worse because it's a wheel and he flipped over, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, stop it. What's a Grosjean? Not Grosjean, he's not crashing into people, it's Maldonado, isn't it? It's that whole team, they're just, you know, terrible at the moment. Maybe they should just stop and pushing the cars around the track. It might get around faster. Saying that, Grosjean actually finished, which is, you know, good for him. So, did he finish? I think he did. So yeah, wow, record timing, I think. So, I hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll, I know, obviously, it's not as glamorous as last week. No intro music or no fancy subtitles or anything. So it's a simple message, and I'm leaving out with the whistles and bells. So yeah, that's about it. So I look forward to seeing the rest of your videos. I watched a couple already, and 2 weeks time, China. Let's hope for it all over again. So see you soon.